everyone. Welcome to another edition of SportsCenter with Loro and Matt on this fine Thursday. Loro here. Welcome, everyone. As today we got a lot to talk about. We got to break down the NFL schedule for the LA teams and also my team, the Patriots. Also, we'll talk about Matt's team, the Detroit Lions, and all that. Then we'll talk about the Lakers' path to the playoffs as their road to repeat will begin next week. Hopefully, they avoid a play-in spot in the play-in tournament, and then talk about the Dodgers sweeping the Mariners after a rough road trip. I know that was rough. And then also talk about what the Kings need to do next season as they have one more regular season game left against the Colorado Avalanche and looking to knock off the Avalanche from a President's Trophy. And maybe that could be the Las Vegas Golden Knights that could win it, and also some MLS talk as well. So, Matt, how's it going?
Going good. How are you doing, Loro?
Doing great. It's we got a lot to talk about in the NFL, especially the draft and also the schedule. So with that being said, let's start with the NFL segment and talk about the draft first. So let's talk about the Chargers draft first. So the Chargers drafted Rashawn Slater. And how did you feel about that pick for the Chargers?
Oh, it's great. I mean, they went in there with a mission to improve that offensive line. And kind of like what the Lions did too. They had a mission to go improve their offensive line. Chargers doing it because Herbert was an excellent quarterback last year. He set all sorts of rookie records, and their offensive line stunk. So now that they have a good offensive line, who knows where that ceiling is for Herbert and that offense. So I think they did a really nice job with Rashawn Slater. Many say he could be the best offensive lineman in the draft. So
he could be.
Yeah.
I was hoping for that the Chargers would trade up in the draft with Detroit, and they would have gotten Penny Sewell, because I would have wanted an Oregon Duck reunion.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, and then the Lions, they wanted to stand pat because they need to improve their offensive line too for Goff. Goff is someone who he needs a clean pocket. He needs the offensive line, and if he doesn't have one, he's just not going to be effective out there. So the Lions, I think, did what they needed to do to help Jared Goff.
They did, especially getting Penny Sewell to play either the right side or the left side on the offensive line. I think he would be good on either side of the on the offensive line. But I think that even though the Lions are not going to be that good, I think they're still going to be a competitive team, however, in the season. But they're not going to be great.
Right.
So let's talk about the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. That was the for sure number one pick in the draft. How do you think he's going to make Jacksonville look now?
Well, Jacksonville's very interesting. Lawrence he appears to be a generational quarterback. I think their draft was pretty good. Urban Meyer obviously has a great record as a head coach in college. I think it's the right situation for him in Jacksonville for both the quarterback and the head coach. Couple of moves that Urban Meyer has made that are kind of strange. One, he tried to bring in that coach from the University of Iowa, but then he had problems with making, I think, racist comments, and then Urban Meyer was forced to lay him off, to fire him. So that was kind of a weird decision where that type of stuff doesn't fly in the NFL. You're not going to bring in a coach with that type of reputation usually and win the locker room over. And then the Jags also, they signed Tim Tebow.
Oh man, I don't know if that was going to happen because
that's crazy. I don't know. That's a weird move. I think he's small for a tight end. He's been out of the league. I don't know how the locker room is going to take to that. They're a young team, so maybe he'll fit in better there. But we'll see what happens. Yeah.
And then also the Jaguars drafted Travis Etienne. That was Trevor Lawrence's college buddy and roommate and teammate at Clemson. I think they're going to make a good quarterback running back tandem in Jacksonville.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the Jaguars will be good, but do you think they will be better than Houston?
Yeah, they're going to be better than Houston. Yeah, Houston is a mess. There's just no way around it. They're on fire right now.
There's a lot of drama right now. We don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be reporting to camp. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be. So that whole situation's a flux.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if Houston is the number 1 pick in the draft next year and that they tank for Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the Jets. They got Zach Wilson with the number 2 pick. How do you think the Jets have found their quarterback of the future with Zach Wilson?
Well, they've been struggling to find their quarterback of the future for probably a few decades now. Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded coach, but they obviously need a quarterback. So they liked Wilson. I don't think he is a week 1 starter, but they don't have a veteran at this point, right? So he might be the guy suiting up in week 1. So, I want to be hopeful for the Jets. I hope they have found a really good quarterback, but to me, it doesn't quite look it to me at this point.
Are you saying that you expect Zach Wilson to start week 1 against Carolina?
Right now, I would say, yeah. I don't think he has any competition for the job. So
he's probably going to come into camp. I think he's going to come into training camp. He's going to impress the coaches. I think Zach Wilson is going to be ready to be that next franchise quarterback for the Jets. I think he has a great arm. He's talented, and he showed it at his pro day.
Yeah.
He's kind of like I kind of compare him to – he's kind of like Patrick Mahomes at BYU.
Yeah, that could be a good comparison. I think the Jets are hoping for that.
And then the Jets also got a guy from USC, Alavera Tucker, who is going to be coming to protect Zach Wilson on the interior. What did you think of that draft pick for the Jets?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think that I think the main thing is you see a lot of these teams, they are definitely trying to find their franchise quarterback. And if they don't, when they get that, they also either need an offensive line or they need a playmaker to help them out, right? And so Jets went offensive line. They clearly need offensive line help. Darnold was
also got Elijah Moore to kind of help have a target for Zach Wilson. But I can't wait. As a Patriots fan myself, and the Patriots play the Jets week 2, I can't wait to watch Zach Wilson play against my team.
Yeah.
I think he's good. And we'll get to Mac Jones in just a minute. And let's get to the 49ers selection. They got a guy that I think is going to come in and start right away and steal this job from Jimmy Garoppolo, and that is Trey Lance, who I'm very excited about this kid. I can't wait to see him play against the Rams in the future and also this year.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one because Garoppolo is a guy that you can probably – you don't need Trey Lance to start right away because Garoppolo is a veteran. He knows how to run that offense. It's a difficult offense. So, when he they can be patient with him. Now, Garoppolo has a history of injuries. So I think Trey Lance at some point this season is going to play. He could even beat out Garoppolo at some point. I mean, all it's going to take is one bad game from Garoppolo. I think Garoppolo will start for the 49ers. But Lance will come in at some point in the season.
I expect Trey Lance to start week 1 because I like Garoppolo, but Garoppolo keeps getting hurt. I think at this point he's just a backup at this point. And the reason why I think Trey Lance will be the week 1 starter is also because I thought Garoppolo did okay in the Super Bowl, but I just felt like that Kyle Shanahan is just desperate for his own guy.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I think Garoppolo will probably lose his starting job at training camp. Just because I think Trey Lance is going to come into camp ready. I think he's going to impress the coaches right away. And I think with this quarterback class, I really could see all 5 rookie quarterbacks starting for their teams week 1.
Do you think Garoppolo will be traded this summer before the season starts?
I probably would like to see that, but if not, then I think he's going to be stuck as a backup.
Yeah.
because I think the Niners like him, and I think that the Niners aren't. I think they're going to be better. I think with Trey Lance as quarterback, I think it's going to make George Kittle look good. I think it's going to make Brandon Ayuk look good and Deebo Samuel look good. They're top 3 weapons that they have for Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is ready to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the 4th pick, talk about this one. Man, the Falcons needed a tight end to kind of help scheme that offense with Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. Kyle Pitts is a guy that, in my opinion, is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, he's definitely, they consider him, once again, a generational talent at tight end. So that was a no-brainer. I think you definitely bring him in. Good pick by the Falcons, yeah.
And do you think that this will kind of help save Matt Ryan's career? Because Arthur Smith is kind of designing this offense all on Matt Ryan.
Yeah, they kind of have to at this point. I mean, they got another year or 2 with Ryan, and see what you can do. See if you can get him back into playoff contention with this new tight end weapon and a new coaching staff. But this is it for Ryan. Like, he probably has like 2 years, and that's probably it for him.
He does have 2 years or maybe 3 years, but this is probably a move that the Falcons needed to make just so that because Arthur Smith can create that offense. But eventually Arthur Smith is going to be getting his own quarterback. That's for sure. So I got this one right with the Bengals. So the Bengals, we got a college reunion here. The next 2 picks were college reunions. So Jamar Chase to the Bengals. I really think that with AJ Green gone, I kind of felt like that the Bengals needed a number 1 receiver to take over AJ Green's place on the Bengals. I don't know if you agree with it, but I think Jamar Chase is happy to reunite with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he is going to I mean, Cincinnati was in a situation where they needed offensive line help. And with Burrow's injury too, it's like I would have taken Penei Sewell. I would have taken offensive lineman. But Jamar Chase, he is obviously he has a connection with Joe Burrow. It looks like Burrow signed off on it at the very least. At most, I think he was lobbying for them to get Chase on the team. So if your top quarterback is kind of asking you, this is the guy I want, I think you should go with him, and especially if it's a coin flip between that person and offensive line or something like that. So Zach Taylor has to get it done this year. He has to show big improvement.
He's on the hot seat, and if Zach Taylor is fired, then I would probably say that Joe Burrow is probably going to lobby Joe Brady to come to Cincinnati as their next head coach.
Yeah.
He loves Joe Brady. And Joe Brady right now still in Carolina, and I think he's going to find a way to save Sam Darnold's career there. But another college reunion that's going to be so much fun to see. I wanted Devontae Smith, but we'll talk about Devontae Smith in just a minute. But the Miami Dolphins nailed it with this pick at 6, and that's Jalen Waddle from Alabama. And Jalen Waddle is going to play with Tua Tagovailoa. Don't you think that this is a good move for the Dolphins to get Jalen Waddle?
Yeah, I thought it was a good move. What they're doing is they're loading up on a lot of weapons for Tua, and they're telling Tua, all right, if you can't win with this offense, then you're not going to be our guy. I think that's the hidden message there with Tua. There are still questions about whether he's a franchise quarterback or not.
I think he is. I think that with the weapons that they got, I think Tua Tagovailoa is ready to take that next step. I really am confident in that, and I can't wait to see him play against my Patriots in Week 1. We're going to talk about Mac Jones in just a minute, and when we talk about Alabama football. So you said about the Lions getting Penei Sewell. That's a good move for the Lions because that's going to help protect Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think that to me that was kind of like a no-brainer. I thought the Lions need that. I mean, there was a chance they could have opted for an offensive weapon at wide receiver because they lost Galladay, but I think you need an offensive line before you need weapons. And Goff is a guy that I think he's good enough that if he has good pocket protection, he can he can end up getting making the most out of some of those receivers and tight ends and running backs. So I think that move it was a smart draft. The Lions drafted very smartly with Dan Campbell.
What I was going to say is that the Lions. I was going to say that Jared Goff's going to have fun throwing to T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is they like Hawkinson. This needs to be his year 2. He needs to show that he is a really good tight end.
And then the Panthers, I thought they were going to get a quarterback, but now that they got Sam Darnold, I thought they were going to get a receiver, but they got a corner. That was a need that they needed. They needed to improve on their pass defense. And J.C. Horn, I think, is going to be a great addition to the Carolina Panthers. And also, J.C. Horn is going to be familiar with the NFC South because his father, Joe Horn, played for the Saints.
Yeah, there's that. I was a bit surprised they didn't go with an offensive weapon or lineman for Sam Darnold. It's kind of weird. You have a offensive-minded head coach. You have a quarterback who I think can still be a franchise quarterback in this league. I think the Jets did him dirty. And Darnold with Carolina, I think that could work. A bit weird that they just went defensive minded for me, but we'll see. Maybe it'll help out a lot.
It was weird to me because Matt Rule runs a very good offense in Carolina, and he and Joe Brady have done a great job designing this offense for Carolina. But I just felt like defense was a need because the Panthers' defense was terrible.
Yeah.
And they needed a guy to complement Jeremy Chin on that back end of the defense.
Yeah.
But you know what you're going to get when you get Christian McCaffrey healthy, and you know what you're going to get when you get Kurt Samuel. But Kurt Samuel's not on the Panthers anymore. But it's just Christian McCaffrey and Sam Darnold running the show on offense.
Yeah.
And then I was disappointed in the Broncos with this 9th pick. I wanted them to get a quarterback so badly because I thought that they would be so good. They would be better off with Trey Lance. But instead, they got a corner and Patrick Surtain. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, in a way it makes sense because Vic Fangio is a very defensive-minded coach. I was surprised, too, they didn't be more aggressive at trying to get a quarterback. I mean, clearly they're one of the few franchises right now that doesn't have a clear good quarterback, and so it could be their options were just too limited. And, you get a situation where you get a really stout defense, kind of like what Washington football team did. And you might be able to make a push, at least be like a 500 team. And then next year you get your quarterback. So
maybe I was going to say maybe Drew Lock tears it up in year 3, and then he's clearly their answer. Don't you see Drew Lock tearing it up in year 3?
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think so, but I think it always could happen. Like he could emerge, and at least the Broncos and John Elway and Vic Fangio, they must feel at least Drew Lock should be given a 3rd year, right?
He should. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is going to be coming in to back up Drew Lock, but I'm not going to start Teddy Bridgewater. I think that the Broncos will run a pistol type offense. That I think Teddy Bridgewater will come in those type of plays. That's why I think Drew Lock is still QB1 for me in Denver.
Okay.
After learning after this draft, and I was I had also thoughts about if they didn't believe in Drew Lock, they should get a quarterback. But I think for me, I have to see if Drew Lock is their answer. I think he is. He has the talent. He has the arm talent to do it, but he just has to work on his accuracy and his interception rate. And now, this is another college reunion that I was kind of surprised with. We know that Jalen Hurts went to Alabama, but the Eagles kind of hit a home run with this draft pick, and they got Jalen Reagor last year to kind of help with the receiving core. But when Jalen Reagor is healthy, the Eagles are a good football team. And they got Devontae Smith, who I wanted to reunite with Tua Tagovailoa, and then Jalen Waddle to the Eagles with Jalen Hurts. But this move right there is not bad for the Eagles. I think the Eagles found their number one wide receiver.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick for them. I still don't think the Eagles are going to be that good this year. I don't know what's going on with that team, really. We'll see what Sirianni does. But, I think I don't think they'll be competing for a playoff spot this year.
We'll see. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to be their guy. I really think he's going to have a fantastic season.
All right, yep.
Don't you think now that they got Devontae Smith to help Jalen Hurts out, you think Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy for the Eagles going forward now that Carson Wentz is gone?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like they must feel he's the guy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he can run. He can run. He can also throw the passes he needs to. It's kind of like he comes in from a college-style offense, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to be their guy. But also, with the Bears picking Justin Fields at 11, I really applaud Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy for doing this. But I also don't applaud Ryan Pace about Andy Dalton being the starter. I'm like, why would you say that before the season began? I really don't. I kind of disagree with Ryan Pace's comments there on Andy Dalton being the starter, just because I think Justin Fields is going to beat out Andy Dalton for that job.
Yeah, I think that they might want to see what Fields brings in training camp first. But yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, if it's Dalton as the starter, he'll be on a very short leash, I think. I mean, especially with the fan base of Chicago, they're going to want to see Justin Fields right away.
They all do. I mean, they think Justin Fields is the guy, and I really think he's going to be the guy. He's going to make the Chicago Bears offense fun to watch again, especially when you got Allen Robinson, you got Tariq Cohen in the backfield. I think Justin Fields is going to have fun working with those guys.
Yeah.
And then that defense will really, really help. And he's going to have fun watching that defense with Khalil Mack, and then Leonard Floyd's with LA. So basically the Bears and the Rams play. So I really want to see Justin Fields start in week 1 against the Rams.
Yeah, that'd be a good Sunday Night Football matchup. Yeah,
that is. We're going to actually talk about that in just a minute. So the 12th pick, the Cowboys, I even thought, do they want tight end Kyle Pitts to kind of help shape that offense? Or do they go linebacker now that Sean Lee is retiring? They can't trust Leighton Vander Esch to stay healthy. They got Mika Parsons. They hit a home run with this pick.
Oh, right. Yeah, what do you like about him?
Mika Parsons is a guy that I think is going to help with the attack on defense, get to the quarterback. The Cowboys were so bad at getting to the quarterback last year.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this pick for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think it was a good pick, and they're going to be improved on defense for sure.
And then we talked about the Chargers getting Rashawn Slater, and I think Rashawn Slater is going to be one of the best offensive linemen in football. And you think that this with this move by the Chargers, it's going to really help keep Justin Herbert upright, give him more time to throw to the football, and also for Slater to give holes for Austin Eckler to run in.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I think Rashawn Slater is going to be a steal in this draft. But also, we talk about steals. Let's go to my Patriots with the 15th pick. And I was wanting this guy right away, and I really look forward to watching him play in week 1 of the NFL season, and I don't expect Cam Newton to start at this point. Mac Jones is a New England Patriot. I'm so excited to have him. He kind of reminds me of Tom Brady when I saw him play at Alabama, especially in that college football national championship game. I watched him play then, and I was like, you got it. I wanted Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft to get him be a New England Patriot.
Yeah, what surprised me most is the Patriots, they didn't trade up. They didn't panic. They kind of waited for Mac Jones to fall to them, and that's exactly what happened. That was a good pick for them for sure, I think. And
and the Patriots actually play the Dolphins week 1. Do you expect Mac Jones to go up against his former college teammate Tua Tagovailoa in week 1?
That'd be cool. It'll be a question of how quickly he can learn the Patriots offense. Cam Newton, in his second year, presumably knows it. But it can take a while to learn, I think, maybe from what they were running in Alabama. I don't know. But I think that for some reason, I think that the Patriots could be patient with him, and it might be like a San Francisco situation where they try to stick with Cam unless he gets beaten out during preseason.
I expect Mac Jones to start week 1 because I think that he's a guy that I want to see play right away in the NFL. I think he's learned from Tua Tagovailoa, and I can't wait. And I want to see Mac Jones go up against Tua Tagovailoa in week 1 when the Dolphins play the Patriots. And I bet Patriot fans would want to see him play right away. I mean, I like Cam Newton, but I just think Cam Newton is just not the quarterback what he once was. He's not the 2015 Cam Newton. He's not the Cam Newton of 2011. I mean, he had a good start to his season last year, but from the things that I saw, he was regressing.
Yeah, I think two things. One is he had COVID during the season, and that might have put him back. That might have hurt him. We don't know. Belichick seems to like him, and once again, in his second year in that system, he might just be a better fit at the moment. And I think Cam, he's a competitor. He's going to want to go out there and win. They did not have any weapons last year for him either. I think they've changed that. They've helped him out a little bit. So I think I think that works in Cam's favor too. But yeah, I mean, if you look at his stats from last season, they were dreadful. And it was surprising that the Patriots even went. Where they go 8-8 last year?
They went 7-9 last year.
Yeah, it's surprising they even went 7-9, given how if you look at Cam's stats, it's so.
That's why I think Mac Jones is going to beat out Cam Newton for the starting job.
Yeah, he could.
That's why I want to see. I'm excited to see him, and I really think that he's going to be great for the Patriots. And the Patriots have weapons for Mac Jones, especially Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and also Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. So that's why I think Mac Jones is going to be the day 1 starter for the Patriots, and also I think the run game is going to be still going to be great. But I think the Patriots but they also got Mac Jones. His college teammate, Christian Barmore, who I really want to see start right away and get time.
Yeah.
So I really, a couple of reasons why I think Mac Jones will start for the Patriots is because I think Alabama runs a similar offensive system than the Patriots do. Bill Belichick and Nick Saban think alike.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I think Mac Jones will start.
Jones does have a similar style to Brady. Now, granted, I mean, Brady is the greatest of all time, but he could fit into the system quicker because he is like Tom Brady in a lot of ways. He's a pocket passer, right? An immobile pocket passer. So the playbook could be designed better for him.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's talk about next the Cardinals. Let's talk about the Cardinals. The Cardinals got better defensively with Zaven Collins, don't you think?
Yeah, they were clearly trying to get better on the defensive side of the ball this year in both free agency and in the draft.
And then the Raiders, they improved on their offensive line. They got Alex Leatherwood to help keep Derek Carr upright. Don't you think that this is a good move for the Raiders?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Good offensive line pick for sure.
Absolutely. And then the Dolphins, I thought they were going to get Najee Harris, but instead they got Jalen Phillips with their second first-round pick. Did you think that this was a good move for the Dolphins to kind of help improve that defense? Because that's how Brian Flores rolls.
Yeah, I think they did a nice job with that for sure.
They sure did. And also, you don't know much about Jamin Davis, so he is a member of the Washington football team. That defense is going to be good with him and a good compliment to Chase Young.
Yeah, for sure.
What about this pick for the Giants? They got a weapon for Daniel Jones when they traded back with the Bears. And then they got Kadarius Toney. Do you think that the Giants found another weapon to go with Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram to go with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, they're clearly sending a message to Jones, too, that we're giving you weapons. You got to start winning games.
Yes, and then also, this was a cool story that I saw about Quitty Payne. who is now a Colt. I was wanting the Colts to go offensive line, but Quitty Payne, I think, is going to help improve that Colts already stacked defense that they have.
Yeah. Quitty Payne, great story. Kid from Ghana, and has done really well in college at U of M. I'm always reluctant to bring in guys that don't have a full NFL background. The Lions did with Ziggy Ansah, a while, like a few years ago, and he never really panned out. So you can have guys that are really they could have a lot of potential, but sometimes I feel like maybe they don't understand the game as well. But I can't quite explain it. But in Quitty Payne, his stats were not that great at U of M, and they say that's because he was being, I think, double teamed a lot and stuff like that, which will be tougher to do in the NFL. But we'll see. I wish him a lot of luck. But yeah, I wasn't so impressed with the Colts picking him. And my friend Kevin's a Colts fan. He didn't really like it.
I mean, I think the Colts would have done better if they got a left tackle just because to kind of help Carson Wentz. But the Colts already have a stacked offensive line.
Yeah.
They got a great offensive line, and they also have weapons for Carson Wentz too, which I'm excited to see Carson Wentz in Indy, by the way. But also the Titans, who I actually love Mike Vrabel. They got a defensive back to kind of fill the void that was left by Malcolm Butler. It was Caleb Farley.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a guy that's going to help big time in the pass defense. But I already think Tennessee has a fantastic defense.
Yep.
And what about this pick by the Vikings? Christian Darrisaw to kind of help protect Kirk Cousins and give him more time to throw the football.
Yeah, I mean, kind of I don't know what to make of the Vikings. I seriously don't. They seem to be stuck in mediocrity. I don't know if this really helps them that much.
And then what did you think about them drafting Kellen Mond? Does that put pressure on Kirk Cousins?
I think there's always pressure on Kirk Cousins because he's basically proven to be as good as you need to be to keep your job, but nothing more. So, I don't really know. There's probably a little pressure whenever you draft a quarterback like that. So,
yeah, I mean, there's pressure for that. That's for sure. So let's talk about the Steelers. So they needed a running back for sure to kind of help fill the void that was left by James Conner. I also thought they need defense too, but they got Najee Harris, the running back from Alabama. I thought Najee was going to join Tua, but Najee is going to be playing with Big Ben. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think they had other issues to solve. I mean, I didn't like them keeping Big Ben to begin with. I just think he's an over-the-hill quarterback who doesn't have much time left. And but other people will say that he's still a really good quarterback who just needs more weapons. They don't have that great of an offensive line, though. So, it's tough to put a quarterback in there and say he's going to help the team, in that situation. So, I don't know.
Yes, and then also we talked about Travis Etienne joining the Jags. So Greg Newsome the second, the Cleveland Browns got a defensive back in Greg Newsome the second. What did you think about that for the Browns? Do you think the Cleveland Browns is going to be still fun to watch defensively now?
Say it again.
I was asking you about Greg Newsome the second, who the Cleveland Browns used their first round pick on. You think that defense is going to be fun with Greg Newsome?
Yes. I mean, Cleveland, they're running a very tight ship right now. And, yeah, it's just, I think they're doing a really good job overall. I think that they will, I think they'll continue to get better. This will be kind of a make or break year for Baker Mayfield. If he can't, I mean, he won a playoff game last year, but I think the ceiling is going to be win the division and win a playoff game, or go win 2 playoff games, right? I mean, the Browns are looking to make some moves, and I think if he wins at least another playoff game this year, they have to continue his contract. They don't want to regress though. They don't make the playoff. That's going to be he'll be gone. Yeah. Yep. So, but Cleveland has made a lot of smart moves, and I kind of like Baker. I think he's fun, and I hope he succeeds.
I think Baker's going to take a step forward, and that's why I have the Cleveland Browns already as my pick to win the division. But before the NFL season begins, then we'll reveal our picks, who's going to win each division.
All right. Yep.
So let's talk about the Ravens. They got Rashad Bateman, a wide receiver from Minnesota, and that was a need that the Ravens had to fill to kind of give Lamar Jackson weapons. What did you think about this pick and for him to complement Hollywood Brown?
Yeah, the whole question with this is going to be about Lamar Jackson. Can he take the next step and actually get a playoff run, going? And it's just have teams figured him out a bit? I don't know. They might have. So we'll have to see what happens with him.
Yeah, I mean, and then the Saints, however, I thought they were going to get a quarterback at 28. They could have gotten Kyle Trask here, but they went defense first, and they got Peyton Turner to kind of help complement Cam Jordan. Don't you think that this was a smart pickup for the Saints?
Well, I think so, but the Saints, they have a quarterback issue right now, and you don't want to be a team going into the season with a quarterback issue unless you're like a rebuilding team where you the Niners have a quarterback issue, but it's not the same type of quarterback issue that the Saints have. I don't think so. They need to get that resolved, and then that'll determine, I think, if they are a wild card team or not. I don't see them winning the division this year.
Also, my question for you is the Saints got Ian Book as their quarterback. He is the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame football history. Do you see him getting the starting job over Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston?
I don't think so. No, I'll just say no.
Why would you say no? I think Ian Book, the Saints needed Drew Brees' successor, and I think Ian Book can be.
Yeah. Yep. I think that it'll be tough. Sean Payton's going to have to figure that out this summer.
I trust Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is good with quarterbacks. And if I were him, I don't know if I would start Jameis. I would want to go with either Ian Book or Taysom Hill. But Sean Payton loves Taysom Hill.
Uh-huh.
But Taysom Hill, he's an okay quarterback, but he's only good for these special packages that they like to use him in.
Yeah.
And then with the 29th pick, the Green Bay Packers, I even thought that they would get a weapon for Aaron Rodgers, but instead they got Eric Stokes. Did you think that the Packers kind of lost this draft in your opinion?
Yeah, they had maybe the worst draft out of all teams. Rodgers' frustration is completely warranted. And I think their GM should be fired.
Yeah, Brian Goodcrust should get fired. I agree. Yeah. I mean, they didn't even tell Aaron Rodgers about drafting Jordan Love.
Yeah.
That was kind of stupid. And what Aaron Rodgers wants is more receivers. I want him to get another receiver. I mean, the Packers got a receiver for him in the later rounds, but I felt like Green Bay should have used the first-round pick on a receiver to kind of help with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they consistently draft like they're rebuilding or playing for the future when they should be trying to win right now.
They actually draft defensive pieces, and they think defense would be the way to go because that's kind of been their issue with the reason why they haven't had playoff success the last 2 years, especially in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
And then with the 30th pick, the Buffalo Bills improved on their pass rush with Gregory Rousseau. What do you think about this move for the Bills? And you think that the Bills are loading up defensively so that they can make another huge run at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the And then the Ravens got Jason Owe with the 31st pick to kind of help with their pass rush or something like that. What did you think about the Ravens using their 31st pick on Jason Owe?
I had no real opinion on that. It's fine.
He's a linebacker, so he could be that next. The Ravens are looking for that next Ray Lewis type player.
Yeah,
but they don't seem to find one right now.
No.
And then with the 32nd pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers they got Joe Tryon, who I think could really, really help on the for their linebacking core. If you look at Tampa Bay's roster, they pretty much got everybody back together. They didn't let anybody go, which was smart of them.
Yeah.
So do you think that the Buccaneers – so let's talk about who won the draft. My four winners are the Patriots, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins, and the Chargers. Who are your four big winners?
I'd say Chargers, Patriots, Browns, and you know what? I think the Lions did pretty well. I'm going to say the Lions. No. I'll put the Bears. I'll put the Bears ahead of them.
My biggest loser in this draft, I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers lost the draft yet again.
Yeah, them and the Texans. Yeah.
Yeah, the Texans didn't even draft well. They drafted. Yeah. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. So, who do you think should start? Should it be Deshaun Watson or should it be Davis Mills?
Davis Mills. As far as I'm concerned, Deshaun Watson shouldn't be in the NFL after what's going on with him.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of been that kind of this situation's erratic. He wants to get traded, but now this stuff that's happening with him off the field, the Texans might need to find a way to release him. That way, the Texans can just start rebuilding.
Yep.
So, with that being said, now let's talk about the NFL schedule. So we got a lot of good Week 1 games, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will actually be taking on the Dallas Cowboys Week 1. We're going to actually talk about that game more and more when the season comes along. What did you think about that choice of the NFL schedule starting with Brady versus Dak Prescott Week 1?
Oh, it's a great game. Yeah, I mean, you have the Super Bowl champs, Tom Brady, hosting, America's team, as they're called. So I think it's going to be a really, really good game for sure.
I bet you Stephen A. Smith's going to be wanting Tom Brady and the Buccaneers to win, and he's going to want to laugh at the Cowboys in this.
Yeah.
He's going to want to laugh at the Cowboys like he always does every time they lose. So I think with Dak Prescott being back, I think it's going to really help the Cowboys out offensively. And I still have the Cowboys winning the NFC East.
Uh-huh.
Don't you?
Yes, I do, yeah.
What about this Week 1 matchup? I kind of wanted to see Buffalo take on the either the Patriots or the Jets, but it's going to be Josh Allen versus Ben Roethlisberger Week 1. What do you think about that one?
That's going to be a fun game too. Just a repeat of a game that they played last year, and it's going to be a good one and a tough one for both teams, especially for Pittsburgh. I'd say it's going to be a tough one.
It is, but as much as a Patriots fan myself, as much as I want Pittsburgh to win, but realistically, I have to say Buffalo's going to go out there and blow out Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Just because Josh Allen is too good. I think the Bills' offense with Emmanuel Sanders and Stephon Diggs is going to be lights out still.
Okay.
And then talk about this game right here. The Bengals taking on the Vikings, and that's going to be Joe Burrow's first game back from injury. Do you think the Vikings are going to come into Cincinnati and win, or will Joe Burrow lead the troops?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow coming back for a victory in his game back.
Yeah, this is kind of a rough draft of those picks, and then we'll save. And if we change our mind, we'll talk about those picks come Week 1. So let's talk about this. We could see two Clemson quarterbacks face each other between the Jags and the Texans. Wouldn't that be fun? Trevor Lawrence versus Deshaun Watson?
Well, it'd be a lot funner if Deshaun Watson, hadn't been doing all that stuff. I think it'll be some other quarterback besides Deshaun Watson.
But I
think the Jags will win.
How many points do you think they'll be favored by?
Probably by like 10.
Or maybe more than that,
should be
because I think
Go
more than
ahead.
that, because I think the Jags are going to want to play hard in Urban Meyer's first game as an NFL head coach. And I think they're going to give him the Gatorade shower after that in his first career win in the NFL. So I think the Jags are going to win a lot. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get his first win in Houston. That's a good place for him to get his first career win in.
Yep.
Let's talk about this game. The Titans take on the Cardinals. Man, I mean, Kyler Murray is going to have fun playing against this Tennessee defense, but I'm going to pick Tennessee to win this game.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
Why is that?
I think their new defense with Kyler Murray and another year in the offensive system, I think they're going to be pretty good.
And then you got JJ. Then they have D-Hop and JJ Watt.
Yep.
And then this game, a good late game matchup, but we'll talk about the late games in just a minute. Let's go with talk about the Eagles and the Falcons. Don't you think this would be fun to watch Jalen Hurts go up against Matt Ryan?
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan will get the best of them, though, in this game.
Who wins, Atlanta or Philadelphia?
Atlanta.
I agree with you. Atlanta's going to win this game. I think as much I'd like to see the Eagles because of Jalen Hurts, and the reason why I would say that because the Falcons tend to choke in late game situations, but I think their defense will be better suited this year.
Uh-huh.
And then this game in particular, oh, baby, Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson. Aren't you looking forward to watching the Panthers play the Jets week 1? I find that kind of odd.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good one, though. It's a Sam Darnold revenge game.
I'm going to say Zach Wilson's going to have a great game in his first career game as a Jet, but I think the Panthers are going to win this game.
Yep, me too.
And then your game, your Detroit Lions taking on the San Francisco 49ers week 1. Aren't you excited about that?
Yeah, it should be a fun one for sure.
Who will win? Will it be Goff and the Lions, or will it be the 49ers? And assuming Trey Lance starts, he'll making his NFL debut and that he gets a win in Detroit.
I think, San Francisco's favored in this game, but I think Detroit's going to pull off an upset and get a win.
You could say that, but we'll have to discuss that when that gets closer. So, yeah. And then the LA Chargers. We'll talk about their schedule in just a minute, but they take on the Washington football team in Washington, D.C. week 1. I want to say the Chargers are going to go out there and get the win, but it's not going to be by a lot. I think it's going to be by a point or so. We're
going to see Chase Young versus Rashawn Slater, a battle in the trenches in week 1. That's going to be fun to watch. And I think the Chargers squeak out a win.
They will, but I think both teams are going to play very hard.
Uh-huh.
Now let's talk about the late games that are going to be so intriguing. The first late game at 4:25 Eastern time is a rematch of last year's divisional round. Who would have thought that? I didn't even think that this would be the week 1 matchup between Cleveland and Kansas City. I wanted that game to be later in the season. But It's going to be Baker versus Patrick week 1. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, I assume they're going to get the call in this game. What do you think about this? And do you think that who do you think is going to get the victory here? Will it be Kansas City or will it be Cleveland? Because Cleveland hasn't won an opening game in ages.
I think Cleveland goes out and shocks the world and gets a win at Arrowhead.
I'm going to say Kansas City is going to beat Cleveland by a point because I think Mahomes is too good in opening day games. And I kind of felt like the Chiefs should have played the Raiders week 1 either in Arrowhead or in Las Vegas. But I think that the Chiefs are going to go out there and get the victory.
Yep. Beware, it's Super Bowl hangover for the loser, right? They always say that it's a thing. Chiefs might not be as dominant this year.
You don't think so? Well, actually, They got some offensive line help to help Mahomes.
Yeah, they needed to. I mean, they didn't have much of an offensive line in the Super Bowl last year.
What about this late game here? Patriots-Dolphins, and I'm calling a Mac Jones versus Tua Tagovailoa showdown. I think, assuming Mac Jones starts over Cam Newton, I think New England will go out there and get the victory.
Yeah, this will be a close game. This is in Miami, right?
In New England, week 1.
Oh, it's in New England. Okay. I'll go with New England then in this game.
Do you think Belichick will take two out of school in Foxborough?
I think it'll be really close. I'll give Belichick the benefit of the doubt, given he has a long time to prep for this game, and it's at home.
And he gets to go up against his buddy Brian Flores. I wish that game's a Monday night game, and that could have been a simulcast on ABC and ESPN.
Yeah, what are the let's see, the Monday night games? The Patriots have
actually the Patriots have the Bills on Monday Night Football later in that season. So
oh yeah, that's it. They don't have a home Monday Night Football game. The Patriots don't.
So also, I kind of find this game odd on Fox's America's Game of the Week, because why would the Packers start with the Saints without Drew Brees? I mean, that to me is kind of interesting to see. But I kind of think Green Bay's going to win in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think, assuming Rodgers isn't traded for, then I think the Packers should win that one.
Oh, of course. And then the Broncos taking on the Giants at 4:25 Eastern Time on Fox. Do you think Daniel Jones will get the win, or do you think Drew Lock will come in with a statement over the Giants?
I think that the Giants. That's Giants Broncos, right?
Yes,
the Giants. I think are going to get the win. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to get the win. The last time the Broncos played the Giants was back in 2013 when it was the Manning Bowl.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then Sunday Night Football, the Rams and the Bears. I can't wait to see Justin Fields go up against Matthew Stafford. And do you think which defense do you think is going to come out on top? The Rams defense or the Bears defense?
I think the Rams just blow the doors off the Bears in this game.
and you think
big win for the Rams?
Do you think the Rams are going to win by a lot?
Yeah.
And what about Monday Night Football? Lamar Jackson versus Derek Carr.
Yeah, that is going to be a fun Monday Night Football game. I'll say this: the Monday Night Football games this year, I was looking at the schedule. They are great. Like every week is almost must-see TV. This is going to be a fun one in Vegas. Lamar Jackson coming to town with the Ravens. This is a coin flip, I think. Right now, I would say the Ravens, but that I might change it by the time September comes around.
I'm going to say Baltimore will win that game too. So I'm looking at the Monday night schedule. So the game I'm looking forward to the most, they got a lot of fantastic football games in this slate of Monday Night Football. So yep. I'm going to say here that I look forward to seeing I'm going to say the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yeah, I'll be at that game.
What do you think of that one?
That's going to be a great game. Yeah, that'll be huge. October 4th.
Yes, the October 4th game for Monday Night Football. What about this game? The Patriots and the Bills in Buffalo in front of Bills Mafia. It's going to be frigidly cold. It might be snowy there, or it might be clear but cold. That's what I could say.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And these are all just great games. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to the week after that, Rams at Cardinals. That'll be a fun one. I think Rams at 49ers in week 10. That'll be a good one. Just lots of great games here. Colts at Ravens, week 5. They have a lot of good games.
Yeah, they do have a lot of great games here. That's for sure. So that being said here, let's take a look at the Sunday night schedule. So aside from Rams and Bears, 2 games that I'm looking forward to begin the season. Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes week 2. Good choice by the schedule makers to make that. And also I'm looking forward to seeing Brady go up against the Patriots week 4. What about you when you look at the Sunday night schedule?
Yeah, those 3 games are excellent. Week 5, Bills at Chiefs. That's going to be another great one. I think, let's see. I'll be at Steelers Chargers. Week 10, Chiefs at Raiders. That'll be a great one. And then week 12, Browns at Ravens. That'll be excellent. Those would be kind of my top games that I'd be looking at.
Oh, what are you looking at for Sunday Night Football?
Week 1, so Bears, Rams. Week 2, Chiefs, Ravens. Week 4, Bucks, Patriots. Week 5, Bills, Chiefs. I would say week 10, Chiefs, Raiders. Week 11, Steelers, Chargers. Week 12, Browns, Ravens. Those would be my most exciting ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think Browns, Ravens had to be on there. And also, we had some good Thanksgiving matchups we'll talk about in just a minute. So let's take a look at the Thursday night matchups here. So week 2, you got the Giants taking on the Washington football team. Then week 3, you got the Panthers taking on the Texans. I think the game I'm looking forward to the most in this Thursday night schedule is the Patriots taking on the Falcons. And, of course, Mahomes versus Herbert in week 15.
Yeah, that's Thursday Night Football. Once again, they have some really good matchups here. Week 3 is a stinker. That's Carolina, Texans.
Who's going to want to watch that game?
Yeah, I know. And then week 4 will be fun. Jacksonville, Bengals. Like, you got Lawrence versus Burrow there. That'll be a fun one.
That's going to be great.
Week 5, Rams, Seahawks. That's going to be a big one. Week 8, I think Packers, Cardinals is going to be fun. Week 10, Ravens, Dolphins. Week 15, Chiefs, Chargers.
Was that?
Chiefs, Chargers, week 15.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Great primetime games this year, I think, for the most part.
They're very good primetime games, that's for sure. So, with that being said here, let's talk about here. Let's talk about here the Thanksgiving game. So you got the Bears and the Lions. That's going to be Herbert, Justin Fields versus Jared Goff. Then Derek Carr versus Dak Prescott on CBS, and then the Bills and the Saints. Which Thanksgiving game are you looking forward to the most out of the 3 Thanksgiving games?
Yeah, Bills Saints has lost its luster because there's no Breeze, right? I mean, maybe the Saints will be pretty competitive still, but I think both. Being a Lions fan, it's always fun to watch the Lions, and you get a divisional rival like the Bears coming in. That'll be a fun one. I think, though, between the 3 games, I'll be most interested in Raiders-Cowboys.
Me too, but I have the Raiders winning that game. Do you think the Raiders are going to be a lot better than they were last year?
Well, they should be. There's pressure on John Gruden to definitely get a playoff berth with them.
Yeah, you're right about John Gruden being in a lot of pressure, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be very good too. So also there's some Christmas Day games on the schedule. So we got the Browns taking on the Packers. So which Christmas Day game is more interesting to you for Thursday Night Football?
How many games do they have?
2.
Bears, Packers, Browns, Packers, and who else?
They got the Browns and the Packers, and then the Colts and the Cardinals.
Ooh, both are really good. Yeah, I'm excited about both of those.
So those are the Christmas Day matchups here for the Christmas Day showdowns for the Thursday night package. So let's take a look now first at the Chargers schedule. Aside from their opening day game against the Washington football team, which game are you more excited about? Is it the Week 4 game against the Raiders, or is it the Week 15 matchup against the Chiefs?
For Washington football team?
No, it's the Chargers schedule I'm talking about.
Oh, the Chargers. Oh, let me pull it up here. Both are great. It's tough. They're both. I'm excited about both of them, Raiders and Chiefs, for sure.
Yeah, what were you saying?
No, they're both really good.
Yeah, they're both going to be fun games to watch. That's for sure. So with that being said, here let's talk about the Rams schedule. So aside from the Week 1 game, the other game I'm looking forward to the most in this Rams schedule is when they play against Seattle on Thursday night and when they play the Cardinals on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and don't forget at Green Bay, Week 12.
Oh yeah, Stafford versus Rodgers. That will be fun.
Yeah, the Rams have a great schedule. I mean, they have a lot of good road games. They're at the Colts too. That's another really good road game. That's in Week 2. They're at Indianapolis. They host Tampa Bay. Yeah, the Rams have a great schedule. They're at Tennessee in Week 9. Yeah, they host the Jags and Trevor Lawrence in Week 13.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun to watch, So let's talk about my Patriots schedule. So I'm most looking forward to seeing the Patriots play the Dolphins Week 1. I want Tua versus Mac Jones, but I also look forward to seeing Tom Brady make his return to New England along with Gronk and along with Rob Gronkowski.
That'll be a fun one.
Which on the Patriots schedule, which game are you most excited to see? Is it Mac Jones versus Tua Tagovailoa or against the Jets Week 2?
I think actually I'll go with neither. I'm going to go with November 14th. They play the Browns.
Really?
Yeah. And then on Halloween they play at the Los Angeles Chargers. And those Miami games will be fun though, and then the Bills games will both be fun. They got a lot of fun games too. Yeah, they got the Colts, they got the Titans. They got a tough schedule. Saints,
the Patriots.
Yeah.
And also, I think the Patriots have a tough schedule, but I think they're gonna. I think the game I'm looking forward to the most is Brady's return.
Yeah.
To Foxborough. So, with that being said, we got a lot of good football games here coming this season. So I can't wait to kind of make our divisional prediction. So let's talk about next the Lakers winning 3 straight games. And do you think with the Lakers winning 3 straight games, do you think that they stay in the play-in round, or do you think they get the last spot in the?
Just a quick update to Ryan. I got to leave in like 10 minutes, so we'll have to go pretty quickly through this. But yeah, the Lakers, I think they might be righting the ship finally. So I hope they do. I'd like to see them not in the play-in game. I think the Lakers are a dangerous playoff team. I think they play good defense. And, if AD and LeBron are healthy, they're the defending champs. Like, no one's going to want to see them in the first round.
Yes, and then also the Dodgers, however, coming off a rough road trip, they swept the Seattle Mariners. Do you think they will sweep Miami and the Arizona Diamondbacks?
They're not going to sweep them, but I think they'll win at least 4 of those 6.
And then the Kings. They have one more game against the Avs. Do you think the Kings spoil the Avs' chances of clinching the President's Trophy, or do you think Colorado will end up with the President's Trophy?
I think Avalanche, get the President's Trophy.
And then,
what do you think?
I think so. Colorado is too good. They scored 6 goals on the Kings yesterday.
Yeah.
And then for the LA Galaxy. So did you think that this game last week against El Tráfico was good?
Oh yeah, it was a fun one. I watched it. Yeah, it was. They went up. The Galaxy went 1-0. Then LAFC tied it, and then the Galaxy got a late goal by Chicharito.
Chicharito is living up to his expectations, that's for sure. So with that being said, Matt, next week we're gonna have to find a day when we're gonna make our playoff predictions, because the NBA playoffs begin next week with that play-in tournament. We'll make those predictions. We'll have to come up with a day for that. And you have a great rest of your day.
You too, Loro. See you next